everybody? Minister Johnson, I'm honored to have a chance to have him here. He returned a small amount of hospitality compared to all the hospitality he provided for the G7 and our families and Cornwall. And since then, our countries have worked in close cooperation on a whole range of things in our fellow democracies. We continue to work on, we're going to talk about today, the ambitions we laid out at the G7. And we're turning to our revitalized Atlantic Charter, or make it something we're going to turn into real action, so it plays a major role in the challenges we face. Earlier today, I addressed the United Nations General Assembly, and I made clear that climate has to be the core area of action for all of us. And as we look ahead to the UK-hosted COP26, which I'm really anxious to attend in Glasgow in November, Mr. Prime Minister.
Good.
And we're promoting our democratic.
Yeah.
We're going to be there.
Fantastic.
With bells on, as they say. And we're going to also, our economies have to work together, including through our Build Back Better World initiative that we launched at Carbis Bay. And today we're going to discuss the next steps on all of this, and as well as how the U.S. and UK can continue our cooperation in Afghanistan and the Indo-Pacific and around the world. And I want to thank you again, Boris, for making the effort to be here. And I understand, Boris, I just want you to know, Boris, you came down on Amtrak, is that right?
I did, and you're a living deity.
I am. I've traveled millions of miles. You think I'm joking?
They love you.
Well, they should. I travel more on Amtrak than I think. If I were a conductor, I'd be #1 in seniority. I got to tell you a quick story that has nothing to do with anything. When I was vice president, the Secret Service didn't like me traveling on Amtrak because there were too many options for people to cause trouble along the way. But I insisted I do it, and one day they put in the newspaper, Biden travels 1 million, I think, don't hold me to the exact number, I think it was 350,000 miles on Air Force Two. And so I, walking up to getting the train on that Friday, and a guy who was the #3 guy from New Jersey on seniority as a conductor walked up and grabbed me, and he goes like this, "Joey, baby," grabbed my cheek. I thought the Secret Service was going to shoot him. And I said, no, he's a friend. He said, Joey, big deal. 1,300,000 miles on Amtrak, on Air Force Two. You know how many miles you traveled on Amtrak? I said, no. He said, with the retirement dinner. We worked it out. He said, 36 years in the Senate, X number of years at that point as vice president, average 131 days a year, 257 miles a day. Joey, you traveled over 2 million miles. Big deal. I thought they should name the railroad after me or something. But at any rate.
They made the station up.
Yeah, they did.
No, it's big news.
Anyway.
Joe, I want to thank you, and I share your belief in transport infrastructure, particularly trains. I want to thank you very much for the warm welcome today, and it's great to be with you in the White House. And this is a very important trip for us in the UK, and we've seen some great progress just in the last period, and it's great that the ban has been lifted on British beef, and the people of the United States of America can eat British beef. And
we're going to be working on lamb too.
And the lamb, we're working on the lamb. But what you did with the travel, so that people can travel to the US with 2 jabs, is also fantastic. And very welcome. We've been working on that for a long time. But I think the most important thing today has been your speech, Joe, to UNGA, where you made a commitment on supporting the world to adapt to climate change, doubling the American commitment. That's very important for us. We've made a £11.6 billion commitment I made when I first became Prime Minister, but it's fantastic to see the United States really stepping up and showing a lead, a real lead. And then, of course, there's the progress that we're making in the defense technology partnership that you've led, and with our Australian friends. that I think has great potential to benefit the whole of the world and the security of the whole of the world. So, Joe, thank you for having us, and I think we're boosting our shared agenda. We want to build back the world together with you, and I think we want to renew and strengthen our transatlantic bond, and it feels to me like it's going very, very well. But I think would it be okay if we just have a couple of questions, just a couple of
Good
questions
luck.
and I think we're going to be ruthless. I'm going to be ruthless. I'm going to go to Harry Cole from the Sun.
Mr. President,
He asked him the question.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Mr. President, is Britain still at the back of the queue for a trade deal, a free trade deal, to Brexit as President Obama promised?
That's
May
a
I
nice
just ask,
question.
what possible justification is there for the anti-Candidates not to be extradited to the United Kingdom to face justice over the death of Harry Knight?
Two things. One, that latter case is being worked on. I was under the impression, but I don't know this, I want to be clear, I was under the impression there had been a civil settlement reached, but I don't know that.
That's correct.
And based on what I've been told, it was not an intentional act. It was someone who is new to driving on the wrong side of the road, quote unquote. And but I'll follow up on that. I expressed my sympathies when it occurred, but I don't know the status of that case right now. The other question was?
A Brexit free trade deal with Britain. Is it
Brexit free trade. Well, we're going to talk about trade a little bit today, and we're going to have to work that through.
Let me just say on that, Harry. I mean, don't forget, folks. So we've settled the Boeing Airbus thing, which was a massive problem between us. So we're making a lot of progress. To say nothing of the beef and the whiskey, which I already mentioned. And can I just say on?
Smile when you said the whiskey.
Well, he's a great ambassador for. But on the Harry Dunn case, which is a very, very, very sad case, and everybody's sympathies are with the family of Harry Dunn. I know that the president has been personally trying to move things along, and I'm grateful for that. We're going to take one more question. I'm going to go to Beth.
Thank you. President Biden, President Trump said that the UK was in front of the queue when it came to a trade deal. You seem to have a different approach. Is that because of your heritage, your concern about the Irish protocol? Is that what's holding it back when it comes to doing this deal with the UK?
There are two separate issues. On the deal with the UK, that's continued to be discussed. But on the protocols, I feel very strongly about those. We spent an enormous amount of time and effort in the United States. It was a major bipartisan effort made, and I would not at all like to see, nor I might add, would many of my Republican colleagues like to see a change in the Irish Accords, the end result having a closed border again. And
That is absolutely right. And on that point, Joe, we are completely at one, and I think nobody wants to see anything that interrupts or unbalances the Belfast Good Friday Accords. That's the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. That's the. I think that's it.
Thank you. Let's go. Thank you. What did he say?
I have no idea. I hope the microphone got it. I know. British supporters get questions. We don't get any.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe by clicking that middle button. Also, check out our previous video by clicking the video on the right, or a video you might enjoy by clicking the video on the left. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share this video on social media. Peace.